Well, hello. Good morning. Move a couple things out of the way so I can see. All right. Well, good morning. Welcome to Mid Morning Medium Chat with Adam the Black Swamp Medium. Thank you so much for being here. Hello, Father. Yes, I am going to start that again. Great. Cool. Hey, good morning, Margaret. Yeah, so hopefully you guys are doing well. Yeah, definitely let me know because before I start getting into some of my stuff, I was curious because I've been hitting up a few people this week that kind of stood out. Father Dearest, yes. Um, uh, I curious that a lot of you that are. I want to see how people are doing. I know with it finally being a good week into the. Hey, good morning, Sharon. We're a good week into the. Hey, Ward, what's happening? Um, how you guys been with the retrograde and things? Hey, Tom. And so, let me know, whether you want to give a few things or if you really want to write something out. I'm just kind of curious. Hey, Jeff. And yeah, I'm just curious because, I have seen it. I've seen a lot of people posting, uh, even people that aren't really on a spiritual, holistic, type of path that even just seeing their post and seeing how they're wording things is, interesting because you can definitely tell that they're experiencing, this retrograde, whether they're into it or not. But I think that's the interesting thing about this is that, there it affects everybody a little bit differently. And sometimes a lot of it is the same. But I like I said, I'm just kind of curious how people's weeks been. I know a few of you I talked to quite a bit. And Ward, yeah, we can. I mean, yeah, typically this morning show is about just kind of shooting the breeze and things. So, but yeah, I mean, usually I do have a topic that I get to, but the first half an hour is just kind of catching up on things, seeing how everybody's doing. Hey, Michelle. And then usually the last half an hour, I'm kind of diving into a topic. But yeah, questions are always available because that's what this show is more about is just kind of a round table. We're sitting around the breakfast table and hanging out. So yeah. Um, but yeah, so I mean, like I said, I'm just been kind of curious. Well, right, and Dad, I know you're not because you just don't have that. You're not into that stuff, and that's completely fine. I'm not saying anybody has to be. It's just like I said, I'm curious on how people are dealing with it, if they're being overwhelmed. I've heard a lot of headaches. I've heard crazy dreams. I'm trying to think of what other things I think, tiredness, being tired and just not having the motivation to do stuff, all relevant to the retrograde. So, I mean, that's why I said I'm curious on any of you that are willing to, say anything or comment anything on that, what you've gone through this week since, like I said, we're now a week into it. And yeah, I'm just kind of curious. Now, the good thing, that I can do is this one is not bothering me. Uh, whether it's something that I have done leading up to it that avoided it, or it's just not the one that I need to worry about because I'm handling things already. So, let's see, Michelle. Before I go on, never had any issues. Turns out I was born during a Mercury retrograde. I've had one other person shadows, radical acceptance kind of thing. Mind blow, right. Or I'm sorry, I read two different things. The comments are moving so fast. I never had any issue. Turns out I was born in Mercury retrograde. I met one other person also confirmed born during one. She had no issues either. Right, Michelle, you and I have talked about this and extensively. That's interesting because I've noticed and we've had it where uh sometimes it gets to certain people and then the very next one it doesn't bother at all. So um I'm always curious on that, and that's I was somewhere where I was going to go with my statements, but I'll go back to that again. I want to see everybody's comments. Let's see, Shannon, good morning, coffee, cheers. Yes, coffee, I'll have a sip to that. Skull. And Shannon saying, let's see, for me, it's like coming out of the dark night of shadows, radical acceptance, the kind of thing, mind blowing. That's cool. I mean, it's cool. Thank you for sharing. Yes, it can be pretty heavy for anybody, especially like that when you're saying you're coming out of the shadows, of darkness and things. So yeah, I get that. Um, But it's a good thing because even then, if you're which retrogrades are, whether you're dumping things off or you're starting new things, they kind of do a little either or because it depends on what you're going through, what your life is dealing with. And so, yeah, some people are getting rid of stuff, which opens up the door, to new things, or some people have gotten rid of a lot of stuff and now they're opening new doors. So, thank you for that. Donna, hey Donna, good morning. I see a lot more people arguing. Computers at work are going out. Yeah, yeah. Retrograde has been always known for electronical disturbances. I wouldn't doubt that. I've seen that myself. Even this week, internet at work hasn't been great, so it's been kind of spotty at times, which is weird because it's not like there's a lot of people in. So, thank you for that. Dad, I'll hit you up there in a second on that. My buddy Tom, I've been hearing a lot of struggle this week, myself included. I feel like a collective. We're all leveling up, and this is a growing pain. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Margaret, I've had feathers appear for me 3 times this week, so I wonder what they're trying to tell me. I've been tired. It's definitely part of it. Yep. Yep. Absolutely. Hey, Debbie. Good morning. Debbie saying I've just been sick and sore throat. I'm like, yeah, well, that happens too. I mean, we're in that spot of where we are, we're experiencing a lot of different things. The kids are all back in school. So you got, all that stuff, going around the schools, whether it's allergies, which isn't really much of a thing that you can pass, but the common colds going, flus are going. I mean, all this stuff that we're been used to for years is, back at it again. Let's see, back up again. I'm seeing some other stuff. Jeff, let's see, Jeff. I didn't think about it. I assume it's just stress related, but I've been super tired and beat down feeling this past week. Yeah, Jeff. And even Jeff, I know you're not like heavy into the spiritual stuff. But that you're right. It this stuff can affect everybody, and it doesn't have to be something you're into. It's just noticing things that are out of place is what usually catches people's eyes. And so for any of you that aren't really doing any type of spiritual type of path, um, you just kind of you look at your week and just kind of reflect and be like, what happened? And if it was just kind of like a lower week, a down week, there it could be. I'm not saying it is 100% because I mean there's always factors to everything, but usually in a retrograded it type of thing is, um, let's see. And Ward's asking, okay, so this was good. Do you believe that the soul can split like we live in other dimensions? Because I'm able to see some of them visions like a memory. Ward, great question. Yes. Well, I mean, in some way, okay, on the other side, everything that I've ever been taught and everything I've experienced, when connecting and dealing with energies, spirits, that sort of thing on the other side, you know, the distances in which miles per hour, kilometers an hour, we as humans always judge everything by speed of what we know of. So if I say I'm going 55 miles an hour, you pretty much know what 55 mile an hour feels like. On the other side, distances and traveling and stuff like that is irrelevant because you literally can be there I don't even think you can clock it because it's so fast. So does the soul have to split? Not necessarily. I mean, the only time I've ever seen anything split is in the paranormal. I've seen it where basically kind of the not so nice, cranky, evil, truly up to the worst of the worst, can break a piece of themselves off, much like like taking, like pulling out some hair, and then you could attach it to somebody, and then it can manifest into creating another like, or I shouldn't say like, it'll basically create a duplicate image of what that evil, cranky, bad stuff is. So I've never seen it in a positive way. I've only seen that in a negative way. So, you know, for us to travel, I mean, that's the whole thing is doing like the mediumship for me. I'm tapping into the other side to get those messages from them to provide to whoever I'm reading for. So, that back and forth is no problem. It can be done. And let's see. And if you're seeing that, like I said, you're gonna have to look at it from a standpoint of what the deal is. You know, keep looking into your dreams to see if there's other details that you might be missing on. Maybe they're still trying to explain things to you, especially if they're repetitive. Because I've talked about dreams on this show before, and there is hidden messages throughout the dreams. You just have to look through them. And basically, when you look through them, you're looking at what's going on in your current life. What troubling situations, what positive situations are happening. So you gotta you know, dive deep into your life, which, is easy. And sometimes it's difficult because we kind of forget things because we're doing this thing and we're moving to the next thing. And so, but yeah, I would look into it a little bit more and then, hit me up because I'd be kind of curious to see, what else, happens for you. Good morning, Kelly. And you've been sick this week. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Oh, Sharon, yeah, your mom's not doing well. Well, love and light to her. Hey, Chris, good morning if you're still around. Okay. Good morning, Bonnie. Let's see. Margaret's sorry, I'm trying to catch up, gang. I've heard a lot of things in twin flames, two half souls. I've heard of leaving some of the essence of spirit while living the physical. Yeah, and that's commenting back on what Ward was talking about, Margaret. Right. Yeah, I mean, for sure, there I think you look at it from, well, like I said, to truly split, like I said, I've only ever heard it in the paranormal, from a negative aspect. So I've never had it, and I'm not saying that it's not possible. I just haven't experienced it, and I haven't really talked to too many people that have, in a positive way. So, is it possible? Sure. I mean, I can't see why it wouldn't, because if it can happen on the negative side, it certainly can on the other side. But I think the fact that with the positive side, we're just kind of going in and out, and it's so easy to just, for them to, they could do this and then they can come back over here, that type of thing. Let's see. Hey, good morning, Christine. Let's see. Margaret, my son, that's your age. That's a whole family have been sick over the last 2 weeks. Oh man. Yeah. Sorry to hear that. Concentration issues, Chris. Okay. I see that. Yeah. Yep. Makes sense. That can happen. So that's why I didn't bowl well this week. Well, Dad, honestly, it could, because if you're feeling tired, you're feeling lazy, I mean, all those, um, those type of feelings. Yeah, I mean, it can certainly do that. Ward's got some follow up. I have a couple memories, 3 about childhood age, 5 and about high school age, and then some like me at the hospital or being in a family. I figured it the same world, but only the world is different in other dimensions. Yes, well, of course, the worlds are going to be different, whether it's positive or negative. Of course, we don't want to go down into a negative world. Definitely, I would never make. I shouldn't say make. I would never suggest or even contemplate going to a more negative world, because a lot of times you get into that mess, you're going to have a lot of problems and your life is going to change dramatically and not for the best. So definitely don't go in any worlds that do not have some sort of light to it. That's just the best thing I can share, because yeah, you're gonna really have some trouble. So if those worlds are full of light and you feel positive when you're visiting a ward, in meditations in your dreams, uh, then you're pretty good. But obviously, if something feels off or something feels wrong, you got to get out of there as fast as you can. Don't stick around. Don't be curious. Just get out. It's better to get out than to have to deal with it, because you're more than likely not going to you're going to have some extra help to get you back out. And I've heard of those instances, which, you can talk about attachments, like in the paranormal world. It's not easy for even somebody like myself. If I truly had an attachment, I can work at it, I can get at it, but it helps when I can use somebody else that I trust that is going to get me out of it or help me get rid of it, because there's stuff I still have to do to help in the situation, but I'm not going to lead the situation. So, um, let's see. Dinah, hi, y'all. Can't stay. Okay, no worry, Dinah. You have a good day. I have a good feeling about the memories. Nothing bad at all. Okay, good, Ward. That's great. Yeah. Like I said, if it feels good and I mean, it's one thing to walk in, have a dream and it's a little creepy and things like that. That's a little bit different. A lot of times it's because, there's a message in there. So it doesn't mean that you're going into a bad spot. Sometimes those scary dreams are really the ones that you remember because of the message that you're trying to get from them. So even if something horrible's happening, some really nasty, gory, that kind of thing, traumatic events in there, there's reasons for it all. So, and let's see, Margaret's asking, maybe it's silly, but is it possible with negativity? Why not positive? Well, that's the thing. I think, Margaret, you just don't hear the stories of it. You don't hear people talking about it. And I think the negative always gets more limelight than the positive does. And, that's just sort of one of my missions that I've been trying to do. And I'm not the only one that's out there that tries to encourage you guys or try to share things with you of what I see is working and that might work for you or might lead you to find something better for you in that situation, which is why you guys I send all those photos and post, for weeks now, because I'm finding so much out there that it's hard not to do that anymore. Uh, and that's the whole thing is to push for it. But Margaret, like I said, it's just not documented enough, and like I said, it's not saying it's not possible. I'm sure it is. You just don't hear about it, and um, even doing what I'm doing hasn't really popped up. Like I said, it's one thing to connect the spirits, and deal with them or work on a paranormal case. Okay, something's not is positive, but it's more negative, and it's for some reason I think the negative ones just see the fact that they don't want to go away, whereas the positive ones just know they're there. They're always there for you. They don't need to split up into multiple persons or entities or energies and be in all these different places because of the fact that there's no speed, there's no distance that has to be met. If I want a spirit to be here right now, it's here in I can't even blink fast enough, which I was just trying to do for you. I can't blink fast enough for a spirit to be right here with me. Now, granted, I have to be in the right state of mind for that, so it could be a little bit harder and take longer. But when I'm ready to go, boom, I mean, I'm in, and so it's just that fast for a spirit to come in here. Um, so that's why I don't think the positive ones need to split as much because it's not a necessary type of thing they need to, because they know if you need them, they're going to be there. So I have them. Okay. And Ward's saying, I have them awake, never when I sleep. Okay. You have them when you're awake, never when you're sleeping. I got you, buddy. Okay. What is that? Les Mis, Dan? I took care of the nasty that hit me up in a dream recently. Okay, Christine. So the negative turned positive. Right. Yeah. And that's always a good thing too, is to take a situation that is negative and turn it into a positive. There's always that type of work that a lot of us can do. You can deal with a negative situation like on the other side, and you can change it, and I've certainly been in positions to do that. And a lot of times, sometimes, I deal with a lot of really bad stuff. And so a lot of times they don't want to, they don't want to work on it. So there's times, hey, Jody, good morning. And so that's why sometimes when I get rid of, so basically in paranormal cases, if I get rid of a pretty nasty entity from a home, uh, you know, typically they're not going to change, but I handle them in the best possible way. And I always give them the option that, if they feel like changing, they certainly can. It's on them to do it. And so they the the rules in which I have in place for those that are on the really bad side, they know what their two options are, and it's up to them. And if they don't want to choose, oh well, it's not my problem. It's not anybody's problem after that. So let's see. Well, okay. All right. Sorry, I was looking at my dad's comment. All right, and see Ward, let's see, let me throw it up. That's the very thing. I get a long version of memory so people cannot see the complete picture. So mostly the end result will not come. Yeah, and that's tough too, Ward. Yeah, I mean, even like how we have dreams. When we sleep through dreams, I don't think there's a single person watching, whether you're watching live right now or you're listening to this, later on or watching it later on. I don't think a single person can't raise their hand and be like, you know what? I had a dream last night, but I can't remember it. I mean, who hasn't? I mean, we all do. I mean, I had some dreams this week and I couldn't remember even a second of it, and that's the, sad part about some of those. So, I don't let it frustrate me like, it used to, because I know if it's really that important, it's going to happen again. Or it's going to show up in a different way for me to receive whatever the message is from that dream. So, never let it stress you out, but you just take what you can get out of those visions, whether again for you during the day or if you're sleeping for others, get what you can get, and hopefully you can figure it out. Or like I said, there's some of us that do dream interpreting. I haven't really put that title, I have slowly started to put that title in there for me, dream interpreter. So I will do that. uh so I mean, if you could, if anybody, you guys can all message me privately, and you can type out exactly your dream and give me as much as you can, if not all of it. I don't care how long the message is. Hey, good morning, Jen. And if you can type out the entire thing for me, or voice record it, it doesn't matter. But give me as much as you can, because the details are important. And even visions. So even like what Ward's, dealing with, visions too. So even if it's something during the, hey, Nicole, good morning, good afternoon, and I'll go through it. And like I said, then I'm going to ask you a question. That's the one cool thing about being a dream interpreter. I don't have to put on the mediumship hat, because I can actually ask questions for once. And because I need information from you that's going to help me look at your dream or visions, and I can pull out how it's going to play together. It's what the one few times that I actually get to ask questions, and it's okay for me to do that. So I do get excited because mediumship, I just have to give you the message, and we run with it. And sure, I'm curious, but at the same time, I can't sit there and try to dig information out of you that then, use within the reading. So I do enjoy when I get to do some dream interpretations, because it's so much fun that I get to ask questions. um, let's see. And then Ward saying, what do we got? I don't know. Dreams are for me are completely different than visions, but and no, and Ward, that's okay. That's all right. I'm not trying to um there is differences, and I would agree with you at that there is, and it just depends on the situation, depends on what's being said, what's being shown. Of course, in dreams, we all know it's just something that when we go to bed, we fall asleep, and it's in the middle of the night that we have these. So I get that. And during the day, like I do, I mean, I still will have psychic moments where I see a vision, a scene unfold in my life, and then it happens, whether it's later on that day or the next day. So yeah, they do have differences to them, absolutely. So I'm not definitely wouldn't disagree with you. But right, they're and that's something to be careful with too, is that something that you see while you're awake is definitely different, in the end. No, you're good, buddy. You're good. No, and it's a true fact. I mean, let's see. And then he's saying, I can all my dreams, I can tell the full story. It's so rare to, yeah. Kelly, what do we got? I hardly ever remember dreams. I almost zonk out completely. Sometimes I feel like I'm missing out. Yeah, well, a lot of times so I look at, and dreams wasn't really going to be the topic, but we'll just talk for a second. Um, to me, what I like about dreams is when I wake up, I personally, now here's my opinion. I personally know that when I dream, whether I remember it or not, which I want to remember because I want to know what messages I was being given. But when I know I dream, for me, that is when I know that I got true good sleep. Now, they say they have studies, they say they have proof that you dream every night. We all dream every night. Fine. Sure. Okay, great. But for me, I beg to differ. Like I said, that's me. But if I do dream, I always know that I'm out, and I wake up and I'm like, okay, I was definitely deep because I was having a dream. That's just my opinion. Like I said, So, um, but yeah, it's very interesting. And so, yeah, that's just the way I look at it. Like I said, I, I, I'm just gonna keep saying the same thing. You know what? I'm just gonna have a sip of coffee. Let's just clear the air. These are great. Thank you, Ward, for all this stuff today, man. It's really awesome. Um, eh, yep. Let's see, Jen. Me too. Visions messages feel real. They aren't just for our subconscious mind showing us what we are working through. Right. Yep. Thank you, Jen. She's like, yes, visions I remember vividly. Dreams are disjointed and tend to forget them. Right. Right. Absolutely. A dream. Hey, buddy. I mean, if you got time to, hit me up for sure, man. Well, okay, well, that's a good one, Dad. The same dream every night. If you're having the same dream, it's because of the fact that you're not remembering what's going on and you're not picking up on the messages that are in the dream. Again, um, the fact that you have it repetitively is that your guides, your family, your friends that are on the other side are really trying to get something important to you, and to repeat it, which isn't always as easy because a lot of times what they do is they switch the dream up to something that's a little bit more noticeable or something that you're going to remember a little bit more easily in the morning. So a lot of times it's not going to be like a Groundhog Day movie where it's the same scene over and over again and everybody's in the same spots. Doesn't it does happen, but a lot of times they change it up because they know that you didn't get it the first time through. So then it switches to a new thing. And it might not even be the next night. They might give you a few days rest before they give it to you again. So, uh, yeah, that's kind of cool, if you can get it a couple times, because I mean, we all want that. A lot of times, like we know we had a good dream, whether there was, a positive situation or positive moment in that dream and that you were just really excited and whatever the case is, and then you wake up and then you can't remember any of it and it's like, oh no, so you're like, I want to have that dream again. And what's weird is it just hit me while I was talking about that. um I mean, I could look it up. Maybe I can do that and just keep rambling until I find it. Let me look over here to my other monitor. I'm going to look up a movie, an older movie from the 80s. And it's interesting because it's talking about dreams. Not that we were, this was the topic for today, but this is a great, like I said, the show, I leave the show kind of up to you guys too. So, I mean, I put a topic in there so we can talk about things. But, um, you know, we just have to roll with it sometimes. There we go. That's the person I want. Because now the question is if I'm going to find the movie. I got to look into this actor's stuff. So sorry if I seem a little bit louder since I'm facing the microphone, but let's see. I wonder if that's it. I think this is it. Let's see. Hold on. Yes, this is it. Okay, got it. All right. So sorry I missed a couple comments, but this is great. All right. It's funny they even have a trailer running in there. I don't know how that would sound. I don't know. I wonder. That would be it. You know what? Well, anyway, it doesn't matter. I don't. Let me read Christine's, and then I'll talk about this movie that I thought was interesting because I remember seeing it a bunch of times, and I was young, so go figure on this one. But okay, Christine, what do we got? Last night, my dream was construction workers were tearing down a brick building to reveal a perfectly preserved Queen Anne Victorian house. So cool. Well, so see, and then at this point, like Christine, I would kick it in. What's going on with you? Is there ambitions to remodeling your home? Is there ambitions to buying a new home or a rental place or, a cabin or something? That's some of the little things that I would start asking you to see if those are some thoughts, even if it was just a passing by note between you and your husband. You know what I mean? Just little things like that. Uh, and it obviously doesn't have to be a Victorian style house. It's just the fact that, see, you recognize that and you remembered that. And that's the key of just like what she's saying there. Queen Anne Victorian house. It's because that sticks out. You know what it looks like. You can see it. You can vision and stuff. And so that's kind of cool. So nope, I think it's a reference to what I'm going. Okay, well, and yeah, depending on what you got rolling, absolutely, and it certainly could be with you personally. It doesn't have to be a true home. I start with the home because that's more of an obvious thing, and then we start backing up and exploring, other things like with you personally. What are you shedding? Are you obviously shedding some things? We're in retrograde. This is a good time to dump some things off and build something new. Huh? Huh? How about that, gang? Did you like that one? So a lot of downloads. Okay, cool. I mean, good, and which is going to be needed for you. But so because I keep looking over at the screen. So there was okay. So we're talking about the dreams. You know what I can do? Let me do this, and I could just that way you guys can just kind of see it. But let me do this. Let me share my screen and you guys can see it. That'd just be easier. I got to use technology. I don't know why, I usually don't. Um, so there, check this out, gang. So this was the name of the movie. Forget the ads up there. Sorry about that. But this is the movie Somewhere in Time. Whether you've seen it or, hey, Chad, good morning, buddy. And I don't know if you guys have seen it. I mean, it's old, 1980. If you guys look over here in the corner, it's old. And then let me scroll, and you can kind of see right here in the middle a little of what it's about. To travel back in time to meet an actress whose vintage portrait hangs in the Grand Hotel. Um, it hey, Shal. Um, that movie, I mean, it was so fascinating because it was neat concept of being able to go into your dreams and to constantly keep having it, and repeat it. And I remember, maybe I won't, if people are going to go try to see it, I won't reveal the ending, but I remember the ending being what we all feel like. And maybe some of you that have seen it, remember it, but that ending, I will never forget the ending. Even as a kid, I mean, I was pretty young back then. But it stuck out so much, and it's almost cool because maybe I need to check it out again. But yeah, I remember it and I thought it was the coolest thing. But I think even as a kid for me back then, we did because you had dreams or you wanted the dream to continue, which is sort of basically what, even in that title that you guys see there, the description, it's like that. It's just you want to continue these dreams because you were enjoying it or you were having so much fun or you were, whatever the dream was for you, but it was one of those cool things. And so yeah, if you ever want to check that out, I mean, I'm sure you could find it anywhere and stuff like that, but it's an oldie, but you guys can see it's Christopher Reeves. So it was pretty cool. I don't know if this is maybe you guys can see some of it. And I have no idea if the audio is gonna come through it. I can't hear it, but just so you can see a few little scenes of it, but I can't hear it, and I got the audio on, but if you can't hear it, it's all good. And so hopefully maybe you're just hearing me, but this is neat that you guys can see just a few seconds of it. And so, but yeah, it's kind of cool, Hey, Stacy, good morning. But yeah, like I said, it was a cool movie, and like I said, it just hit me. And I haven't thought about this movie in a very long time, so I thought it was kind of interesting that we're talking about some dreams because of Ward and his great questions and things like that. So I mean, it was perfect timing that this kind of fell in, and it hit me at that point to do that. So very fascinating, really cool movie, and a lot of us, we're not all young again, well, we're as young as we want to feel, but at least at this point we can go back in time a little bit and see a few things and remember some of the stuff from way back. But yeah, interesting interesting movie and stuff. And like I said, it was kind of cool. So I'll stop it right there. But get myself back on. But yeah, that was kind of cool. So Somewhere in Time, that's a neat movie if you've never seen it. Obviously, there's some that do remember it. It's been forever, for all of us, I'm sure. But oh, and thanks, Debbie, for putting that running on Stars. Yeah, it could. Yeah, so yeah, maybe if you guys still have cable or something like that, you can look it up and see if you can catch it one time, or at least if you got a DVR, you can record it and then check it out when you have a chance. But yeah, real cool movie, and like I said, the ending, like I just don't get. I keep harping on the ending, but yeah, that ending. you know, we all know it, we all feel it, so it's pretty cool. But yeah, good thoughts. So let's see. Oh, what do we got? Oh, Ward's got something. Let's see. I dreamed being a robot. I was walking, searching for a place to sleep. While I walked there, comes out this oil out of my legs, which means time I'm fighting the rabbit because he's trying to drink from my oil. On my right side, this guy is laughing and tells me I can sleep in the garage. He also tells me that not to go too far because otherwise I could hear the dogs barking too loud and wouldn't be able to sleep. I look at the garage and tell the guy I would like to redecorate it. So we started to do that. Wow. Wow. Well, that's a lot. Dreamed of being a robot. No kidding. Hmm. Okay. See, the problem is I'm going to run out of time if I start diving deep into this. So, Ward, I might have to come back to this after the show and then just dive through that, and we can kind of go back and forth a little bit. But really interesting there. I mean, I see a few things that I would definitely want to ask questions over, but like I said, I'll run out of time. It'll easily take me to 10:30 to go through it all. So, but And I guess I'm just gonna I am gonna switch it. Not that we're not yeah, like my dad's saying, yeah, it could be like that, right? Um where is it? There it is. Um but the I did let's switch since I did put it up there, as kind of a topic, but because I did want to at least mention a little bit, but uh I have, as you guys know, and you guys are watching, and I'm trying to put all right, I could do that. All my dreams have mostly three different ones at one. Geez, that's pretty that's pretty rough. I mean, three different ones at the same time, or three different once in a while night. Yeah, that's wild. Yeah, it'd be weird to jump from dream to dream. I know I've had sometimes where you have a dream, you wake up, and then you go back to sleep, and then you have a different dream. But I don't think I haven't done that as much. So, um, at least I can't even remember recently, because typically sometimes when I wake up from a dream, regardless, I mean, I'm kind of just up, and then I'm starting to think of other stuff, not so much the dream. Um, but I wanted to, switch just for a little bit to what the positivity that I've been experiencing even more. And I wanted you guys to hear it versus just reading about it, for the last several weeks, and give you some examples, of how it works and why it works. And, you know, literally this would be, I think Monday would be like 4 weeks that I've completely changed up so much, the way I've looked at things, the way I handle situations. And, you know, it's just one of those things, you get stuck in a rut, you get tunnel vision, and you forget to do basic things, and like I said, I'm still human, and I still make mistakes, and I definitely own up to them. And I realized that for a long time, especially, all over the the summer, I struggled, with certain aspects where, I just, things weren't going right, things were falling apart. And you know you don't talk about it as much, and some of it is really private information. So there's some aspects that I have to keep for myself, and then there's stuff that I have shared. And so, but I think because I was kind of dwelling a little bit more on the downside of stuff versus fighting through it, even though I wasn't giving up, and I wasn't not fighting, I was fighting. I just wasn't pushing hard enough, and I wasn't using everything at my disposal. And several weeks ago, it just kind of clicked out of nowhere. And I think, a lot of times, whether it's information that you get from, whether it's friends, whether it's from your guides, whatever your system of beliefs are, however you get them, sometimes it's like a, slap in the head or slap in the face, it kind of rings your bell, and you have that light bulb aha moment. And that's kind of what it was for me. I just woke up, and I think because I just, like you said, you guys have seen it, those that follow regularly. I mean, you know, I talked about a bad day or a bad week, and sometimes it was sometimes weeks of bad, and it was just this, and this, and it was just, granted, I know too that we go through the motions. I talk about it often, and you gotta fall before you can get back up. And it's just one of those things. It's a process, it's a balance that we have to go through. I mean, not everything's going to be uh picture perfect, and so we have to go through life. We have to make mistakes. We have to have issues, so that way we can learn from them, grow from them, and be able to possibly help others that go through the same thing. Whether you are a true helper or a true healer, even just saying a couple words to, your family or friends that might be going through something similar, you could be like, hey, this, I kind of thought this, or I kind of did this, and this helped me out. Maybe it'll help you, and so it could be just is that simple. I mean, and even then, we're supposed to be doing that regardless. It's one of the laws of the universe that we're supposed to be helping each other out. We're not supposed to be arguing with each other. We're not supposed to be fighting with each other. We're truly supposed to be helping each other out. That was a big wad of spit. I don't know if you guys saw that fly, but whoo, sorry about that. And we're supposed to be doing that. We're supposed to be lifting each other up. I mean, you know, granted, we're at a point where there's so much stuff going on, and there's so many things that, sometimes it's really difficult to try to help anybody out. uh, because that those people don't want it, and that's their choice. I mean, the good thing is if you at least make an effort, you know, that goes a long way. And that's kind of what I try to do is make that effort to where people know it. Now, at the same time, I can't hit all of you up every single day and check in on you. So it's not easy for me to follow up because if you guys have seen my page is continually to grow. And we're that's a lot of people that are following, and so I there's no way I could keep up with everybody. So it's important that, I mean, and I think about everybody all the time, especially those that are always watching the show, or commenting on the post, or liking, putting whatever emoji on the my post and things. So I think about all of you, even if the ones that don't follow up or do any of that stuff. That's okay too. And then the people that don't even know it exist, that's fine. um, but I truly do care uh, for everybody. I care about the human races. I care about our animal world, and I care about the earth, and I care about the universe. Things of that sort that matter. And I've really shifted a lot of my thoughts for that stuff, and push it more. So I mean, I try to do the best I can every day for myself first, primary, make sure I'm okay. And then I try to give that out or spread a little bit back, and passing people at work, there's a lot of times that it bothers me that people won't even they purposely not look at you. And it's so weird that you can't even just visually, give somebody a nod or, or even a hi. It's so weird to see those people that are so closed off and they don't want to have any type of anything, just being courteous. And so I still go to the point of where I hold the doors open to buildings, the stores, and I'm still holding doors for people, and I don't care who you are. Doesn't matter. I'm holding the door for somebody, or regardless. And I can tell, and it's interesting is that the times I do it, some people are genuinely shocked. Like, why would you be holding the door for me? Not in the sense that I know we see that stuff on the news where there's those specific types of people that, are like, don't want that to happen, but that's not the case. They're more shocked that somebody was willing to do that for them and that they were really grateful for it. And, they were just like, oh, they give you that look of like, oh, wow, thank you, and it's no problem. You let them in and you just go on it. And so that's just the way it is. And so, those are the things like I said, I don't care who you are, what you are, doesn't really matter. I'm still going to do it, and if you're going to argue about it, you've got some issues, just because I'm holding a door and luckily that's never happened, and I hope it never does because I think that's silly. I mean, we're supposed to help people. That's the whole point. Right, Chris? um, Yeah, yes, the electric doors do work, like people in walking down the street in New York say, "Yeah, Debbie, yep, absolutely." I see where your son gets his sense of humor. Let's see, sending love and healing to all that needed. Thanks, Christine. Yeah, yeah, and especially to Chris and West, correct. Yeah, I know they had some rough moments for them. But yeah, but that's the thing is, so for me, weeks and weeks ago, I had my bell rung. And so I'm finally, you know, trying to do things better. I'm trying to do things differently. I'm trying to see things differently, handle situations differently. And, this week, and this is, like I said, I was going to share a point in it, was that, whether it was Wednesday or Thursday, I, you know, about midday, like it's funny. Guys, I tell you, I have things that happen on my walks. I do an indoor walk before work starts, and then I do, about somewhere in the mid morning, I do an outdoor walk, and then I do a lunch walk outdoors. Those two outdoors. And I always say that, one or both of those outdoor walks, there's always some message happening. Well, the lunch one that day, I'm getting a text message from somebody, and I did not ask permission, so I apologize that I can't give them, those these specific details out, because I don't know what I can and can't say. But the point is, I get this message from this guy. I know who he is. I'm actually friends with him, but we've never actually like texted each other back and forth because I, just out of respect. But he he's an author, and he says, "Hey, I'm doing this book." Tells me about the book a little bit, and then he says, "Hey, I want to interview you because I want to add a piece to a chapter, with what I ask you and stuff." I'm like, "Sure, that'd be great." And so here it is. I'm thinking, you know, uh, for weeks, how I've looked at things, how I've changed things, you know, didn't let things that, whether they were small, whether they were big, I didn't let situations that were negative affect me. I just kept pushing forward because I knew that, the stronger I push, the it helps me deal with situations, and it also opens up the door to, if I'm giving a lot of positive stuff out to, like, all of you, those that are watching the post and commenting or doing these lives and stuff, and I'm trying to give stuff to you energetically, and there's always that karma thing. I can get the positive back, and so that moment I'm sitting there was blown away that he thought of me to ask, to be interviewed for a specific topic. And then, it's just like, wow, really? I mean, and the author is no joke. So I mean, that's the cool thing about it. The author is no joke, and it really, it's going to be interesting. And even better, this I can say, I've had to include photos of specific things with me in them. So they're going to be in color in the book. That part I can say. So I am now mind blown that I'm going to be in the book for, whether it's a page or two, who knows? I mean, one paragraph will be good for me, but I'm sure it'll be a couple paragraphs. But depending on how detailed he writes it, but that's, just super cool. And so I'm really excited for that opportunity. So, like I said, I've been pushing and trying to do what I can for the greater good of all of us around us. And so something came back great. Now, at the same time, the very same day, I get home from work, and so I'm getting ready. Because the interview was going to happen at like 5:30. Well, we had a situation at home that we knew was a situation, but we didn't know. And I didn't really go detailed on the post about it, but basically, I did say that there's a possibility that the house can slightly explode with a major fire, um, which is ironic because it's about from my right, which is this way, kitty corner, um, with I'm probably about 10 feet away from what will happen. Now, I do the show in the basement. No, Jen, I can't because I didn't get their permission. And I didn't know what I can and can't say. I'm just trying to give as much details as I can so that way I don't get in trouble for it. But basically, our electrical meter that's outside the house is sinking. And unfortunately, if it sinks too much more, the lines are going to get cut because they'll break and snap, which means it's going to cause a major power surge, and the breaker box will the meter could explode and go launching across the neighborhood, and the breaker box will instantly catch on fire, which will start that side of the house, which is right over there, about 10 feet, and start to burn the house down. So, uh, so instantly we had to jump on this and are going to have to dish out a big amount of money to get this fixed. So that way we are safe. And, but now the point of giving you all this information is the fact that hearing this information, even with what I was told and I was about to go into an interview with, that negative stuff did not phase me. And you would think that any one of us realize you're going to have to spend a big amount of money. It would stress you out. It would freak you out. Anxiety. You would think that would be normal. It didn't touch me. I am completely at ease with it. I don't feel anything negative about it. And I know that's the reason why, me pushing as hard as I am for all the positive to give positive out, that it didn't need to bother me. It's going to get handled. It's going to get taken care of. Sure. Do I want to spend that kind of money? No. I could definitely use that money someplace else. But it still did not touch me at all. I mean, and I know this would have, if this was over a month ago, I guarantee I would have had an anxiety attack the next day because it would have bothered me so much. And, then I would have had a horrible day and I just would have been down and out and, still would have kept doing what I doing. But at the same time, it's one of those things. eh, Margaret, that's all taken care of. That's the whole point is we had a guy come out quoting us, for the repair. So yeah, that's all taken care of. Where we but the problem there's more problems. That's the thing is, and the problems continue with this whole thing. So it gets even worse. Um, but that's what I'm saying. The main thing is that the harder you push through things, the more you give positive out to people. And again, doesn't even always have to be to somebody like holding a door open. That's great. You don't have to sit there and do a live show. You don't have to post about things. There's plenty of ways to give that positive energy out there. And, you know, I've had so many animal and insect interactions with messages from them the last couple weeks specifically. Every week, the last 2 weeks, this week and the week before, great animal interactions. And me giving them love, me giving them light, me giving them positive energy, making them feel like they do not have to be afraid of me. I'm not going to hurt them. Why would I? But that's the thing. You can do this towards animals and insects, you literally can just give them that love. I mean, even if they creep you out, I had the spider. Yeah, I think it was yesterday. I think it was. I had the spider cross me. I'm not a big fan of spiders, you know, not they're not my favorite, but because he crossed in front of me, specifically came out of nowhere, ran in front of me, then crossed over me. I'm like, all righty, buddy, and I truly said, hey, man, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I hope you have a great day. I said, love you, man. And I just walked on, and that's all those interactions I've had. The grasshoppers, crickets, you know, the birds, I'm trying to think of what else. The geese yesterday wasn't they were hanging off the side, but I still talked to them out loud. I talked to all them all out loud. And then but like the geese, they were just they were checking me out, but I would just kept giving them love. I kept saying, "Hey, I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys have a great day. Just be cool, and so I just kept doing my thing. And the deer, thank you, Chris. Yep, the deer were great. They easily could have been spooked, for anything I did. I mean, sure, they were watching me, at times, but then again, when I would give them love and affection, they would go back to what they were doing. And it was so cool because like they should have been just watching me like a hog. I mean, they're just like, nope, he's gonna be like, nope, he's gonna do something, he's gonna come after whatever, Nope. I just kept giving them love. I kept keeping my movements nice and smooth. I wasn't trying to be real, quick and to get them startled because I didn't want to do that. I wanted them to be okay. I didn't want them to get their heart rates up. I mean, probably were anyway, because that's part of who they, what they are. But it's just those things. It's all these little things that can add into something. And even when you push all this stuff, you're gonna have to have that balance. So I mean, that's the thing is that, the other day, got one good thing, got one bad thing, it didn't matter. You know what? Because it's just I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna continue to keep pushing it like I'm doing. And that's why I said I can't stop sharing this stuff with all of you because it's just if I can motivate you to do the same, imagine how much different your lives can be. Let's see, I just want to read a few. They say that when you see a lot of spiders in your house, that mean you have a healthy house. It could, yeah, Ward. I have heard that stuff. I like spiders more than the geese for sure. Gotcha, Kelly. This summer was the first time I ever heard the bumblebee. I just love them. Yeah. And Shannon, when I talked about the bee, I mean, that was just mind blowing too. Same kind of situation. It just, it's one thing for them to zip, but when they kind of like hang out and they're either flying in front of you or they're specifically trying to stay in front of you, like most of these creatures are going to get out of the way. Like they're not even going to like come near you. They're not going to mess with you. But it's important, and what I've always was taught, through the Native American cultures, you want the animals, the insects, the whatever, that type of stuff, you need it to happen to where it's flying in front of you or over you. And it basically comes down to the fact that they're giving you that message at that point, depending on what you're thinking of, depending on what your situations you're going through, whether it's good or bad. but they're there. And seeing something out in the distance, it's cool. I mean, like I say, I love red tails. Red tails are one of my favorite, birds of prey. Sometimes, in fact, Jen and I, once in a while, Jen and I will go back and forth, like when we're driving, home from works. I saw a red tail, and then a lot of times we'll be like, well, I saw him in the tree, but it's still a really cool thing because it's not always easy to catch them at times. It's one thing when they fly over, but you could, especially when they fly over, you can definitely tell, that they're the red tails because you can clearly see it. And then sometimes you can just see the shape of them and know which ones they are. But yeah, that's the whole thing. Is it's really fascinating when they do have the motion, even when you do spot them like that, like spotting an owl. Um, Spotting an owl that's even harder than like the red tails and stuff. I mean, red tails at least get on top of the tallest, tree or branch or telephone pole and stuff. Uh, uh, Owls are really hard, and so when you see an owl, holy, that's a really good one. So, let's see, what do we got? Yeah, Margaret's talking. Okay, so wait, let me back up a smidge. I missed a few. Let's see. Um, Yep, on the deer. My mom has never run for me. I talked to them. That's great, Christine. Seen handheld cranes 3 times in the last 3 days. Okay, cool, Margaret. That's neat. Uh, let's see. Don't forget your brother's dog. Well, yeah, and my brother's dogs were, hammered with a skunk earlier this week, so that was always interesting. Uh, I used to, and Debbie, I used to socialize with feral cats where I volunteered. That's awesome. Yeah, talk them, give them love. Oh, Shannon's right, right. I'm deaf. I'm hearing less. That's just one. Let me know. Truly notice. Oh, there you go. Hugs, Shannon. Yep. Jen saying red tails are amazing totems. Absolutely. Seeing a lot of ravens and crows. Like that's awesome, Christine. Yeah, I mean, I used to say a murder of crows and ravens. Nicole, I love owls. Carrie, hey, good morning. Had a raven fly so low in front of me. The car so close was dragged. Well, Carrie, what were you thinking at the time? What was going on in your head, because the ravens and crows, they're intelligent birds. So I mean, there's some things going on. Hey, Linda, good morning. We have a bald eagle that cruises our river. Absolutely, that's great, Linda. Eagles. Whoo, whoo. Those are the big ones, man. Those are some real messenger birds. um Yep. Wonderful changes are coming. So she's answering that. Okay. Very, very cool. Um, yeah, and we got a couple minutes left, but so just so I can recap and stuff, and you guys can keep talking in the chat there. Uh, like I said, we all go through things, and I've talked about it so many times, and I know I sometimes might sound like a broken record. Sometimes it's just the point that sometimes we just need to hear it, whether it's once or 10,000 times, to make it sink in, and it's so I know it's difficult. Like I said, I struggled for a lot of this year, and, I still had, moments mixed in, but yeah, I probably let too many days, maybe too many weeks in a row, just, weigh me down. And, again, I recognize it. I know it's a mistake, on my side of things, but that's the thing is, I learned. I know that I got to pick myself back up, and I know that I got to, drive through things, and I know I have to do a better job and push more out there so that way I can handle stressful situations like the power problem. Uh, it's just the way it is, and I think the we know that karma is alive and well, and the more you push it, the more you try it, and so again, you know. Uh, I keep wanting to do what I'm doing. I want to share as much as I can with you all to see if it can help you in your life. I mean, I know I'm here to help in whatever way I can, whether it's just positive information, whether it's mediumship, whether it's healing, music, all that stuff I love to do. And so I really am trying to do everything I can to spread the love, spread the light, pick everybody up, including myself, and I just, it's such a thing, and it's such a perfect time for all that to happen for all of us. And I hope that you all can go on with your day, go on with your weekend, and then tackle next week and really, make it the best you can. And, even if you have a stressful moment, get back into doing things, get back out to giving love to stuff. We got to go through the ups and downs. That's just life. And don't let the downsides, don't let the negative sides drag you, because you can. And when it does, it's like got an anchor, tied to your ankle. I mean, you're just dragging it along and things are slow. And so you gotta figure out a way to cut that chain and get back to doing good things at your pace and doing things that you love. And it's you can find ways to spread the positive, vibes out there to everybody. So, uh, find what works for you and whatever it is, and you guys can do that. Let me just check a couple things real quick. Um, thank you for that. Okay. You're welcome, Shannon. Cheers. Um, Ward, over there, my love in the clouds, way up high. You see a colorful rainbow shining in the blue sky. There was worries fade away, and sun of joy will take away the pain. It's a place beautiful that comes. Yeah, it's awesome, Ward. Thank you for that. Yep. Have a great day, Shannon. Debbie, speaking of healing, my wrist is about 80% back down. That's awesome, Debbie. I am so happy to hear that. Linda, have a great weekend. Yes. So I'm gonna get out of here. Got a few little chores around the house, and then had some other changes happen. I had an important healing session today. Unfortunately, the client was exposed to um, meningitis of all things, and so out of safety, I'm not going to be meeting this person in person. So we're going to wait a week and see how they do and the rest of the family that live in the house do. So uh, got to be careful and play it safe. Even though I would go and do this, but hey, we'll just play it safe, because I got family here that just in case I have it, and I don't want to pass it either. So, oh, thanks, Kelly. I appreciate that so much. Nicole, awesome. You have a great one. So, but other than that, I'm gonna have some fun tonight. Gonna go hang out with a friend and do some stuff. So maybe I'll post some fun things. Normally, I don't try to post a lot of the extra things I do, since it's not really truly related. But who knows? Maybe I'll post a photo, couple photos tonight on the Medium page, just to show you what I'm doing tonight. Like I said, it's gonna be a lot of fun. So we'll see. Maybe I'll give you guys a little sneak peek as something I haven't done in years, but at the same time, I'm excited because I'd like to get better at it, and this person should be able to help me get better at it. So yeah, I'll do it. I'll take some photos, whether I post them tonight or tomorrow, but I'll definitely give you guys a couple photos so you can see what I'm up to. Um, good way to end my Saturday night. So I'm excited. But anyway, thank you guys so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being who you are. Thank you for existing. And I cannot stress enough that I hope um, you guys all have the best day, the best weekend, and have a great week. Definitely keep your heads up, regardless if this retrograde's bothering you or not. Just continue to do your thing. Get up, get moving. You guys can do it. You're fully capable of it. And if you need encouragement and you need somebody with a foot that can kick you, I certainly can help you with that. Don't worry, but it won't be a physical kick. It'll just be a digital kick. So, but if you need that little kick, let me know. I can help you with that. So, but again, thank you so much for being here. This was the Mid-Morning Medium Chat with Adam the Black Swamp Medium. So I will see you guys again soon. Check out, watch out for all kinds of more posts coming. I got some ideas for October that I'm going to be finalizing to have some fun with y'all. And yeah, let's do this. Let's get through and have a good day. Be positive. So as always, all my love, light, and peace to each and every single one of you. And I will see you again soon. Bye.